we're in. Okay, I gotta close my window. Alright. Looking at their comp this game, you're definitely right to go attack speed, because they really didn't have CC, so you definitely don't need the tenacity. Coup de grace triumph, this is all like normal stuff. Slurring water walking makes you a beast at contesting objectives in the river, and in general you just need movement speed. This is pretty much all core stuff. I would say looking at their team ahead of time, like Vladimir, Tryndamere, Zed, Leona, and Twitch, you definitely need Ninja Tabbies, which you do get. Let's see here. Comparing this directly with Tryndamere, a couple points at the game that we're probably going to look at would be what happens exactly at 26 minutes. It's probably the most important thing. It's probably a Baron, but I'm just making a note of that ahead of time. And I definitely think you should have gotten a Randuin's Omen in this game, because they have Twitch and Tryndamere, and Randuin's Omen is really OP versus crit.
Yeah.
Rather than a Dead Man's Plate. And trying to get one of the adaptive helms here, I think that's probably the right call. So just ahead of time, definitely think getting a Randuin sooner in this game, just looking at it now, probably would have been a good choice.
Okay.
Yeah, because you finished this Dead Man's at 30 minutes, and after looking at what happened at 26 minutes, like on the experience graph, I feel like this game was probably already over, and you should have had this Randuin's already.
At the point in time that I built Chain Spectres into Frozen, it was like, I'm currently ahead, and they have both AD and AP threats, so I'm going to like get the dual resists and then the HP to back it up and finish him situationally. And I had that thought, like, man, I really wish I had a Randuin's, because after that point, like, the crit carry started being problematic, but it's too late, because I can't just sell Chain Best rewards at that point. So weird being able to see a game, not hear it.
Yeah, a little bit. I wish the audio would go through, but doing this over stream doesn't really work, just because of the delay. It's awkward as hell. Love the skin. I have the same one. But yeah, especially when you see that there's a Twitch and a Tryndamere. Like, if there's two crit sources, maybe they have a Yasuo, not a Tryndamere, you know? Randuin's Omen is like, I need this item third, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. I usually would, it was, I think that was genuine cockiness, because I was so ahead in the game.
My thought on that is that Randuin's Omen is such a ridiculously good item that you don't really need an excuse to build it. It's like amazing if they actually have more than one crit user.
I was thinking of a different Shyvana game, actually. I think that I was just building like an ape in that case, because I remember this game now. This enemy team literally fucking camps my jungle. Like, straight up.
They just invade you a bunch.
Yeah. This Tryndamere is like one of the... Like, I would not be surprised after playing this game if I looked at that guy, like his profile, and just like a shotgun man. I think he actually wasn't even a jungler, to be fair. And he was just trying to play it like a lane, like, well, if I just beat my opponent up, you know?
I mean, that works. That's a jungle strategy for sure.
Yeah, so they saw the red, and I was like, alright, well, I don't want to get my blue stolen, so I got my level 2 and then went straight to it.
He's already here.
You know, he got a leash and he's really fast, so he came immediately. He's only level 2 as well. It resets. No, I'm not going to be able to fight him right now because he's got red and crit.
Health advantage, yada yada, yeah. Oh, this is... You really don't want to give it up. You know he's lurking. Okay. We're gonna back up before we go any further.
Okay.
This sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, this was all warded. When you see that Jinx isn't here and Alistar has no HP, and you saw them all walk in through here, you can't even be here anymore. It sucks really bad, but the time you waste trying to contest this without your Jinx, without any teammates, because Alistar has no health, you're already wasting time. Like,
yeah, I've
big
been
time.
like blue pinging it and stuff. Like
I think right here.
Help, and I should have just left.
Yeah, once you walk out this way, you just like immediately take the blast cone and just vroom. Just get over here as fast as you can and secure your blue buff. If you get to your blue buff fast enough, you might even be able to get here too. But I wouldn't recommend that because that's like red buff versus blue buff, and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and that's against a Trinamir and a Zed.
Yeah. But here, let's say you were already pathing over there. I'll make like a rough estimation when you could have already been there while they were all doing this. And pause it about right about now.
Yeah.
15 seconds have passed, like when they definitely had it, right? Like you could have even left sooner, but they definitely had it about 1:37.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I saw the Twitch walking over, like, because they went to the dot brush and then they came back in, and I saw, like, one of them barely out of the fog, I probably should have just left for my blue. But like I said, I, like, blue pinged it like, 8 times. Like, hey, please, anybody come help. Like,
that's where,
please, anybody, and, like, nobody would. So I should have just left. But it was like, oh, okay, well, like, somebody's gonna respond to the ping. They're missing HP. Jinx is full HP again. We have sums.
I think in this case, the thought that you're like, hey guys, like we should all contest this as a team, is like not necessarily bad. It is kind of bad because Alistar's already super hurt, right? You don't want to start a fight with that kind of disadvantage. But you should already be considering the fact that, oh shit, Jinx just isn't here. Your mind should be nowhere near like, if Jinx comes, we could do this. Because she's like 10 seconds away, right? Maybe not 10 seconds, but like she's just AFK, like she's in La La Land. So your mindset needs to be the fact that they're invading here, like it sucks. But I can't slow down for the faults of my teammates. This Alistar that can't help, and this Jinx that can't help because she's not even here. So having the thought that you need your teammates' help to do something, while you're down here in silver, you can't really depend on them for shit, honestly.
All right, fair enough.
Like that's just like the cold hard truth.
I was like outside of it in this case.
The more greedy and selfish you are for yourself, like especially in early game where bad things can happen and things can snowball out of control, like getting beat to your blue buff, you know.
Yeah.
It makes a big impact. But we're gonna speed up and
get
to the good stuff.
That pathing was like so horrendous that like it actually shocked me. Like, he went from my red all the way to his red and then straight to my blue, and I was just like, what? And yeah, and then he blindly, like I watched the ward debris, like I watched the ward expire, and I was like, okay, now I'm safe to take my blue, and he blindly comes in, no sight, and just smite autos.
Alright, and right about now, I think you're starting it. Okay. So it's worth looking how long it takes you to do blue buff, right? Just for some perspective, you can use this in the next game or whatever.
Yeah.
You started at 443. That's a level 3 Shyvana with Talisman and Dagger. 10 seconds have passed. 12 seconds have passed. And right now your smite does 430 damage. I think the moment you saw him going through the wall here, you already like hesitated. You could have already had this if you committed with like another auto attack. Could you see how much separation you have between you and blue?
Yeah. And then also, had I killed it there, I would have hit level 4, and he didn't have passive stack, so I probably would have been able to just beat his ass.
Yeah, it would have been fightable, because he just spins over the wall with no rage, right?
Yeah.
And if you smite it, because you didn't smite it, you don't get the health bonus, right? That you would normally get from smiting something. See, like already here, you've wasted time. You're only one
I
auto
could
attack
just
away.
auto smite and then beat him.
Yeah.
Right. But again, I expect this guy didn't just after that take a camp blue and then come straight back. I figure he has like cleared his entire blue side jungle and like is somehow there, which I realize like now timing wise is impossible. But I was like, when that guy spun over the wall, I thought he was probably already level 4 or 5 because I've just been put like so far out of this thus far, which is why I panicked.
He definitely couldn't be 5 already, right? Like that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, that would be like Udyr level.
Yeah, that would be pretty insane. But the important thing here is we're gonna slow it down real slow. Actually, no, you would not have been level 4.
Oh, okay.
No, because you actually barely got level 3 here.
Oh, you're right.
But I think
But
if
still,
he spins
level 3
over
with
this wall,
down and like no rage and me on full HP, like it's still theoretically possible.
okay. I'm looking at your cooldowns.
I think it was also like
There's actually a lot of different ways to do this. Like I'm rewatching this a whole bunch of times because there's so many teachable things about this moment. I think that will help you out. I just gotta get there. Damn, I hate that the cooldown timers do not keep up in the replay timer. It would be so helpful. They just like tick down no matter what you set everything to. Okay, I have to run it through one more time at normal speed. And just be patient, I guess. Okay, so your W and your E have a 12-second cooldown. And your W lasts 8 seconds total. So after it's gone, it's back up in 4 seconds. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. Yeah. The other thing that happens here is that like you don't even auto him, so you lose your W duration because you have to auto things to get the longer duration.
Yeah.
So this is part of like Shyvana being an all-in bruiser.
Yeah.
It does like these spins over the wall like that. But I also think here, once you see him spin over the wall, you need to immediately pop your ghost. Regardless of whether or not you get blue or he gets blue, you need to pop ghost.
Okay.
Because if you get ghost, or not if you get ghost. Well, if you get blue, he might have to run away, right? And you don't have flash to chase him over the wall. But I think if he tries to not flash over the wall and he runs away, then ghost, you just chase him down. And if you pop ghost, he might even be afraid. And it's the reason why you pop ghost, like in my mind instinctively, is that you shouldn't be hesitating to use this. It has a much shorter cooldown than flash.
Yeah.
So it has like that charge up time after 2 seconds too, so you generally need to pop it early.
Early, yeah.
But you start farming again. This is a rough game, mostly because of the start you got off to. But I think that's a lesson to be learned that like if something like that happens, you just go like, oh shit, my red's gone, and just immediately like go secure your blue. That needs to be your instant reaction rather than like looking around for help.
Yeah, I mean, even like if I had just left when they initially invaded it, there was like a very high chance that I could have just started his red and then had like an even better clear, because then I would have cleared like a kind of C pattern and been able to level 4 drag.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because this is a prior Drake first,
like,
so you want that one.
It was just weird team communication between like what was going on in chat and like the blue pings that like weren't all mine. Like the Alistar was like pinging assists and stuff too, and I was like, all right, like this guy's on the same page. One of my carries will be, and they weren't, and I needed to just like realize that both of them were gonna be like jackasses.
Yeah. But this is where let's see, is this doable? Let's see, if you could have got there a few seconds quicker with that, does that help?
I was like here, I was really just trying to like counter gank to stop them from killing him, not so much to.
I think that's a okay thought
kill
here.
Them. And then,
but he does.
Anyway. Yeah, Scion. Yeah.
I just want to see this one more time. He's already super overextended. He flashes, doesn't dodge the slow, because, you know, who knows how to dodge that thing. Um, you do know how to dodge Tryndamere slow, right? Or do you know how it works?
Chase him.
Okay, yeah, okay. You seem to know, yeah, you know quite a bit about most ability interactions, at least.
Yeah, I know. Like as far as character interactions go, everything like up to like Callista and Azir, I know like most of the kit. Don't You'll catch me off with little stuff like the like how much AD Mundo can get, or
Or how
like the
much
burning agony
damage your
doing how
smite
much
does.
tenacity.
Or how much damage your smite does at level 3. Like, right here.
That
This is kind of a micro thing. Like, if you are focused on fighting a buff because you need to secure it from the other guy, like, I feel
I
like it
mean
was in the
that.
back of your mind that this guy could show up, right? Like,
Well,
the reason why
no,
I'm focusing on it so much
it's
is because, like,
exactly not. That's why it caught me off because I was like, okay, that guy went red to his red to trying to take my blue. I cleared this entire side. I put a ward in my bush because I knew where his ward was so that I could watch his ward expire and then take it when I know that nobody has sight. And I was watching both of the laners to make sure that neither of them walked
that
over
he's
and
right
warded
there.
it, and then he just blindly E'd over it after clearing birds and blue. Like this guy's pathing was so horrendously terrible that it worked perfectly against somebody that was actually thinking. Like I watched that ward expire up there
Wait a minute.
on the blue front. That is.
Because you don't have smite here. Okay. See, there's actually a lot of things that lead to this. And focusing on the fact that, like, Tryndamere got lucky is ignoring everything that makes this blue steel possible in the first place. And I think that's
Okay,
the issue here. Um,
that's fair.
you could have taken this a lot sooner. He did have it warded, so he was like probably waiting for you to do it. I think this is where he
Mm-hmm.
just left, right? So you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do wolves in base. Um,
Yeah, it was. I don't want to take this when there's a Z on the map
and
and
he's
my
right there.
Yasuo is dead.
Yeah. When you base here, though,
Because
this is
Z will
pretty
just
important.
WQ, W ignite auto, and I'm done. Which I mean, he didn't have ignite. I don't think Yasuo pinged it,
You're
but
getting ahead of
I
yourself with
definitely
the
also.
build here. Trying to build dagger before you finish your jungle item actually also costs you here. Because if you finish the jungle item, you would have finished this blue buff faster.
Okay.
So trying to get a leg up and like cheat a little bit ends up costing you.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I generally like see that people build, the entire recurve before they'll finish the jungle item on like, Shyvana, Yi, Udyr,
The reason they would do
Salad,
that
depending
though,
on hit.
because a lot of champions after first clear, like that's kind of how much money you have, right? Like 1,000-ish. That's why people
Yeah.
start Rejuve bead on Warwick and Tryndamere so that they can rush Tiamat, because usually you back with like 1,000-ish if you stick around on the map long enough for
Yeah.
a full clear. So the recurve bow is exactly like the same situation there. They get it because it's a bigger power spike than picking up something like this. But at this point, you're behind, and you're still trying to like confirm your first clear and your first item. So in that case, you need to be getting the item that helps you do that, which would be your jungle
Okay.
dagger.
That's fair. I just genuinely didn't know that. I thought that the dagger would actually like result in a faster clear because of Shyvana's kit.
No, because this gives 12% attack speed. This gives lifesteal on hit, so you're healthier. It gives 25 bonus damage on hit, so you clear them quicker, and it gives you bonus attack speed. The bonus attack speed that gives you is actually greater than the attack speed from the dagger. Like, I feel like you're trying to get straight attack speed, like, this will be good, but this gives even more. And it
Wait,
gives
what
life
do you?
steal, and it gives on hit damage.
15. Oh, would you look at that?
Mm-hmm. So I think combined with that, and you have like a slight miss micro here, but like all of that, you definitely kill this before he gets here, right? That's part of
100%.
why it takes you so long. Another thing, you should be dragging this into the bush, or dragging
Yeah.
it all the way up here. It's either up here or down here, like in the bush or way up here. You're kind of just like off in the middle.
Okay.
We are going to keep going. Um, this just gets rough because you definitely fall behind, but I want to see like where you get an item and a half and have some opportunity still. Mid's losing really hard.
Yeah, because like all that's going on thus far is like I'm trying to catch up to Trinmer, and I end up like even in ahead with him in farm, and then
Yeah, he's like randomly just in your jungle trying to invade you again because he's an asshole.
yeah.
And you're
Well,
ready
yeah,
for it.
I
See,
took the
because
scuttle
the
there.
Alistair has your back, right? The Alistair's your
Yeah, like I
homie.
said, that like I killed the scuttle there. I saw him. And I saw him going into Dragon Pit. I looked in Dragon Pit and saw that he wasn't soloing it, so I started pinging the shit out of my red buff, and Alistair just came and killed him off.
Yeah, because like most timers,
I like watched him enter my jungle, and I was like, "Are you jackass? What are you doing?"
a lot of jungle timers, important ones you would need to know is that like your first buff, the one that you start, is going to be back up at like 640.
5 minutes.
Yeah, and then your second one is going to be back up at like 720. The same holds true for their buffs.
Well, I mean, if you're assuming usual jungle,
Yeah, usual jungle timers. Yeah, but like if it's not that, what's the most you're off? 30 seconds,
like, yeah, it'd
right?
be
A minute max.
7-10 or whatever.
Yeah.
On like a ram is clear.
You're still trying to catch up. Another kill on the Tryndamere. Okay, so you are basically going to surpass him at this point. So we're going to slow this down. Another assist. You are back ahead of the Tryndamere because he's an ape.
Yes. Yes. This was my experience with this game.
Here's the problem, though. Like, he still has what he needs to scale, though, right? Like, you have to respect him, because if he gets another kill back on you, then he's back ahead of you again. Like, that's just the nature of, like,
at
these
this point, I know, like,
matchups.
okay, I can destroy this Tryndamere whenever I see him, and I have ult up. Like, I know...
Not when you don't have tabbies. If you don't have tabbies yet, you shouldn't be looking for him to fight. You need tabbies and Devourer.
I guarantee you, when this idiot builds Greaves, and I have Challenging Smite and ult, like, I can destroy him. Like, 100% guarantee.
I can guarantee you that that might not happen depending on the situation. You need tab eyes to beat this guy, because if you don't and he has his ultimate, you're kind of just dead, honestly. Because without T2 boots, he's faster than you. Even if you dodge it slow, he's faster than you. And you can't kite him as Shyvana. You don't have CC. So he'll just spin on you and kill you. He'll build up his rage, use his ultimate, and then you can't win. You cannot win this without tab eyes and your Devourer.
Okay. I'll agree with you, but Shyvana does have a CC. She has 2.
Yeah, but it's not like Tryndamere sits still and can't attack. It's like you nudge him for a second. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, but then if I dodge his slow and I hit him with mine, then he can't catch me.
You shouldn't be trying to play around your CC on Shyvana. You basically have none. It's like trying to play against your damage on Nami. Or something. Yeah. Maybe not Nami, but like I think you
Nami
definitely have... Yeah, Nami actually hurts, but like you see what I'm saying.
No, I definitely shouldn't be trying to play around my CC. I agree with that. I'm still confident that I can beat that guy at that point in the game, but regardless, he's not the threat. It's this monstrous Zed.
No, here's exactly what... See, you're not ignoring... You're kind of ignoring what's going on at the map, though. Because that lead that you just get over here, you guys just got the tower, you just got a whole bunch of kills, you need to be happy with that, right? Because your whole team is still behind as a whole. If you don't go back and spend all that gold you just got, and you pick and look for another fight while they're still ahead, you're just throwing it right back, and that's exactly what you do right now. When you happen into all this gold and XP, you need to go back and buy your tab eyes and like Devourer or whatever you can immediately. That needs to be your first thing. Like, you guys just got so lucky, you guys just got so much, don't waste it. And you go look for another fight, and you waste it.
Yeah.
You definitely need those items to fight. Maybe not Tryndamere, but you need him to fight Zed, right?
Well, I definitely, like, 100% agree with that point. But I don't think that Tabai would have saved me from that guy.
See, but like, at this point, like,
if I was backed and buying, like, I wouldn't be there to be dying to
exactly.
that guy.
Because totally you guys probably lose Fire Drake after this,
if I take a fight with that Zed and I have Tabai, I'm still fucking dead.
Like, this is such a huge mistake, though. Like, you just got the game back to you from punishing Tryndamere, and then here they just punish you all over again, and they're already ahead. And you lose Dragon. and you kind of get the whole
Infernal
team kill.
against defense and Vladimir.
Yeah, so it's
And
twice
Twitch,
as hard
yes.
because they have an all damage comp. So this is definite overstay. When you get lucky enough to have them throw back to you like this, say your prayers, they say thank you to the Elo gods that this is silver, you know, and you go back and buy. Because choosing to overstay and not spend all that gold you just got is like some noob shit, honestly. Like, I gotta tell it like it is. This is bad.
No, I can agree with that. That I think that was a matter of like I don't mean to be the guy who always has an excuse. I should have just backed, but I
See,
think that
because
was
look,
like
you have enough money
the
for it, right?
Alistar.
Like, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so good. You need this. You needed this right
But
here.
in that case, it was like Alistar and Jinx took the tower with me when I was pinging the hell out of it, and then like I had Smite up, and they started pinging the dragon, and I was like,
Yeah,
all
but
right,
you guys
like,
got tower after you got
let's
kills,
go.
right? Once you get
Yeah.
these kills, it's like, cool, we can get tower. Then we're done. You know? This is our
Yeah.
objective that we can get after we killed them. We can't kill them, get tower, and get dragon. That's way too much.
Yeah, it's
This is
unrealistic
yes,
unless we have the ahead mid laner and he's like
exactly.
on it with
Unless
us
you
after.
guys were the ones that were already ahead. You can't try to get a
Yeah.
2-for-1 when you're behind. That's very greedy.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to look at that though? Because this is actually
No, I just
doable.
clear off the tower here.
No, this is doable. Like, because you do
Look
this.
at Zed's level though. What?
Okay. No, you don't engage all in. Hold on.
This 5-year-old.
Yeah, no, I'm just clearing the wave here because I don't want the two of them to take the tower.
Okay. Yeah, the reason why this is not so scary, even though I will say this Zed could kill you and doesn't, is because like you need the CS, right? If Zed happens to ult you and he kills you here, so be it. Like, this is already kind of a desperate game. This guy is getting really big really fast.
Yeah, he's already fat. One kill won't put him that much further ahead, but I get a shit ton of gold there and I deny the tower.
Yeah. And if he uses his ult on you, like, that might even be a good thing.
Then yeah, so it might make some, silver.
Might make something happen.
Feed early, carry late, kind of.
Yeah.
And I was really happy that this Yasuo actually listened to the team and like built, Tab Eyes in his core instead of some of the boosted shit that I see sometimes.
Okay, so this is the kind of CC that you play around when you pick a CC champion.
Yeah, you're right. Scion man self-inserting himself.
This is the kind of CC you should be looking for.
Yeah.
Not your little nudge on the end of your dragon leap. In the slow on your dragon breath.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude, he stood in there the whole time. He was so slowed he couldn't move.
So you're still building armor. I think that's the right idea. You realize that they're mostly AD. You can just build armor and kind of avoid Vladimir for the most part.
Well, okay.
Yeah. And then we're gonna have a fight where we fight Leo and Vlad, and I'm gonna be like, oh man, I just took a lot of magic damage from fighting.
Alright, I feel like this is another overstay about to happen.
I know, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Actually, it's worse than that. Hold on.
Yeah, and then I pick up the kill there, and I'm like, oh, can I fight this guy? I was like, probably not, but I'm kind of like walked into this
Hold
fight
on.
because of the positioning of the team, and then I get killed by the Twitch.
They're getting caught. You loop back around because you see that some of them are low.
And that the Zed is over chasing over to the side, I figure I'd be able to save, and then I definitely can't save, but I figure I can pick up a kill and leave.
Okay,
Okay.
there you go.
You have your red smite here, and you're sitting on some gold that you just got with your team. I
Yeah.
need to slow this down.
Don't bully me like this. Come on,
Okay.
man.
You red smite her,
Come on.
and you definitely don't need to,
Speaking
right?
of the
Absolutely not.
Yeah. If you red smite this Vladimir, I think this play actually becomes possible. Because you could have already blocked 20% of the damage that he hit you with, so you would have more like,
Come
you know,
on, man.
this much health, maybe. You might have about 100 more already.
Yeah.
And then the way this works out, you would be hurting him a lot more too. He would have had to pull already. I think he pulls
Wait,
earlier,
really quick. I
and
have
then you
more
might even get to run away here. Because you see Twitch a little sooner. So I think
Okay.
overall, you shouldn't have red smited Leona. You gotta use it on the actual bigger threat. Leona's not the threat.
Definitely. That may have even just been a misclick, because, like, I'm totally on the same
Yeah,
page.
they're standing on top of each other, so, like, it's close, but I gotta call that out anyway.
Yeah.
That is
Oh, shit, the baits.
Yasuo did something. Oh. And then...
I also think, let's say you actually red smite this Vladimir, but the same result still happens, right? Like, Twitch still kills you. You still get him a little bit lower, and I think they might even actually kill this Vladimir. Because, like, he still thinks he has to help, but he has just a little bit less life.
Yeah.
I think that's a possibility. So, like, this is where you start to see the ripple effect of, like, some of the
Yeah,
little
definitely.
things you do and you don't do.
Okay.
I think now is when you're probably like, wow, that Vladimir hurts a lot. I probably need some magic resist. Yep, there it is.
ignore the
Yep.
fact that he's blonde hair and blue eyed.
It was the repeated sunlight procs when you're fighting Leo, as well as the blood.
Yes.
So yeah, I see why you kind of don't have a Randuin's this game.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have enough to get the Warden's Mail when you first bought your chain vest, you know?
Yep.
You overall didn't really have the gold. And you needed magic resist because Vlad is starting to do damage. So
And
overall,
saw
I
that,
understand
like,
this build.
Twitch was kind of building like an ape, and that like I felt like I was ahead of Tryndamere.
I can respect a Zarya player because it's not fucking diva.
I do want to see when you buy this chain vest, though. Actually, it's a little later than
That's
this. A little more. I think it's after the dragon fight. Nope. It must be coming up here.
There it
Okay.
is, yeah.
You have enough money to get a Warden's Mail here. I think
Okay.
not getting the Warden's Mail versus this kind of auto attack heavy comp with the attack speed from Tryndamere and Twitch is a mistake for sure.
Okay.
You could have already built half of your, or not half, but like a third of your Randuin's, right?
Still is. Farah is
Mhm.
actually it's.
So you end up getting, see, yeah, you end up having gold anyway, right? Like,
Yeah.
not getting Warden's Mail here because of the matchup is a definite oversight. And you don't upgrade your trinket even though you're level 9.
I also don't know what I was thinking there because it shows that I have like 560 or something, and I didn't pick up like an all magic or a ruby crystal or anything.
Like, you left base, but you could have bought more, yeah.
Yeah, that was. I think that I was struggling on deciding, and I didn't want to waste time because like Shyvana literally has, you know, like you can get a couple hundred a minute kind of thing. I think that was just panic.
Do you use custom item sets at all?
No.
I've actually run into a couple cases where I find myself like clicking in the shop, like, what the fuck? Oh my god, I'm looking for that one thing. I knew what it was, and then I got back to shop, and now I can't find it. And it's like you waste, you know, 5 seconds or something, right? So after this match, I was actually gonna make some custom item sets, because I think they're worth having. You filled one of them, the tiers, with like defensive stuff that costs like 1,000, right? Your like pieces of your big tank items, your Spectre's cows, your Warden's mails, and when you see them like right in your face, rather than having to fish through the shop for it, it becomes a little more clear. That's like, oh my god, that's just what I needed, you know.
Fair.
And then you don't have to waste time in the shop or buy the wrong item because you can't think of the one that you wanted.
Wait, you didn't actually answer the question earlier when I said on Nunu. What like damage items would you look at building in Loyola?
Basically, solid.
I think Magic Pen on Nunu is good. I
So
wouldn't get
Leandre's-
Zerk shoes, and like trying to fit Haunting guys in, it's like, you know, when do I have 1,500 gold to spend on damage, right? So real.
All the time. I'm like, I'm actually a Nunu god. I'm not like this is not a meme.
I mean, I think he outdoes McCree in everything.
My Nunu is beastly.
I feel like on Nunu, like, you didn't pick Nunu to be a damage threat, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You picked
not.
Nunu to be the unstoppable objective god that takes towers and nobody can kill him, and like troll the enemy jungle. You know, walk around, spam laugh a little bit, take his buffs. You know, sprinkle some salt on top.
Nah, it's more like I take 6 dragons, herald 2 barons, and every single one of their large raptors the entire game. That is my Nunu playstyle.
I think in that
That's
regard,
why I win so much.
because you get
But
ahead, right? You get an XP over the enemy jungle, right? That's part of your deal.
I'm usually like level 17 when they're level 14.
Here's where you build damage, actually. Because if you're getting ahead on XP, you're probably getting ahead on gold too, right? Overall, you need your tank core of items. But if you're trying to sneak
like a
damage,
4 to 6k gold lead on.
If you're trying to sneak damage into your build, one, I think AP, I think the Runic Echoes is actually viable. I don't think it's
Really?
good, but I think it's viable. Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
Because if you eventually get an Abyssal Mask at some point, and then you eventually do get a Haunting Guise, and you get CDR from somewhere else, like Blue, Transcendence,
Frozen
whatever.
Heart and Visage.
Whatever, yeah. You'll have some other CDR source this game. You can make massive bait and Baron plays with like good ultis and good E's. If you have Abyssal Mask and like 15 Magic Pen and 30-40% CDR, you will kill 80 carries with 2 or 3 snowballs. Like, no shit. It will do like a quarter of their life.
I just like I can
You plan
respect
for
the hell out
damage
of the
power
Abyssal
spikes
and the
around
pen, but, like,
levels 11 and
Runic
13.
Echoes-
Levels 11, level
Runic
13 is
Echoes
when you're
feels
finishing these
so-
skills.
Runic Echoes feel so bad against.
It is troll-ish.
Well, like, because
They just
his
recently
passive
added the
gives
AP
him
ratios,
so
and it's
much.
actually okay. Yeah, generally, I think 80%. 80% of the time, you should get Cinder Hulk. But there are games where Runic Echoes should actually be something you consider.
And that's just because rival letter.
Well, like, what would you say is the game to build Runic Echoes? Like, what should I look for?
If they have maybe only one tank, and they have a damage support, or they don't have heals, right? They don't have someone who's going to protect them from this new damage.
So if they have a Soraka Sona Nami, like, definitely not the game.
I would be less willing to do it, but at the same time,
If you can one-shot the Soraka.
right. Like, maybe you catch her out first, you catch her out warding, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, where'd your heals go? You know, I dare you guys to try to do something now. It's like, it doesn't make it terrible, but, like, that's the game where you probably don't do it, right? Because, like, your cheesy poke factor gets taken off by the Raka or the Nami. But a game where you do it, one, Runic Echoes is good because it gives movement speed. It will make you more map mobile. You don't really think about that in the short term, but it is good. You can make very in and out cheesy poke style plays. Like, let's say enemy bot lane is low. You can come
Take Comet and Scorch and just
not Comet, but like there's other good things you take on Nunu. You like come popping out of here, you throw a snowball at the 80 carry, and then you just run right back, wait 5-6 seconds, and then the second time you go in for the dive, right? Like it sounds stupid, but it fucking works, right? Because
yeah, definitely.
Nunu charges Runic Echoes a lot because you do a lot of running in circles and like skill shot dodging and baiting and just overall dickery.
Yeah.
So it's
Blood
very
Oil
feasible
makes
that you throw
fucking
2 snowballs and each
freestyle.
one of them have the Runic Echoes on them.
Full AP Nunu with a Righteous Glory. How do you feel?
I mean, it's not that troll. It's your ult could kill a whole team, you know, if you have good baits and you control vision and shit. If you have a real level lead, like you hit level 11 first, you hit level 16 first, and you buy a damage item at those level spikes, you can do serious damage. Maybe only put like 2 or 3 points in Q, and then you start maxing E. And look for really cheesy gangs where you can get that in and out playstyle off, like 2 snowballs and secure the kill. Done. You might like
on Nunu like hurts missile.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel good, right? It's more of a high elo thing, where you cheese his objective control. But we're gonna back up here.
You're like, yeah, I totally have 5 ranks in Q, dude. What do you mean? And you don't actually.
Yeah, and then you go like slap somebody with a snowball. With your fucking laugh. Nunu butt. Alright, so there's 10 minutes left. I do have a lesson. I love that skin, honestly. Like, it never
I
gets
have
old.
all of the Nunu skins except for Zombie Nunu.
It's just such a nostalgia thing when I see people do that. It's warm
I
memories.
fucking love Nunu, dude. He is, like I said before, who I consider my main, so.
We have 10 minutes left because I have a 9 o'clock lesson.
Yeah.
I want to know if there was anything else you wanted to get to in particular. Maybe talk about Nunu, or look at something else. Like, I just want to get back on track.
Yeah, no, I mean, basically from here we just throw repeatedly, and Zed and Vlad.
Yeah, I figured it gets a little Fiesta-ish at this point. This is where it's like, you're not strong enough to really
I get like
do
another
a whole lot on
kill,
your own.
and then I get another kill and another death, and then everything goes to shit because the kills are just too good.
Yeah. I think at this point, if you had like a correct build, you could have more impact, right? Like, you jump into the fight, you pop the range of winds, and maybe you kite them out and you get lucky.
Yeah.
Like, it's when you have a better build, when you have better items, when you're more scaled, you get lucky more often, you know? You gotta be prepared for the bullshit that might happen, but having a better build makes you more ready for the bullshit. That's
sure.
where it's like, worry about me first, and like the pieces will fall into place.
Okay.
But yeah, we could probably stop this game, because as you say, like, this game's kind of already out of your hands at this point, with the misitemization, I think. That was that game right there.
Ouch.
Ouch. It stinks that you get off to a bad start, but like you had time to recover. I think it's the big throw at Dragon that really cost you, in my opinion. When you get lucky enough to get picks and free kills like that, you got to be thankful and just back and wide with the gold.
Oh, you got diamond. Congrats, man.
Yeah, I got it with my last game. Feels good. And then I actually played like 1 ranked flex games, and that was also my ranked flex game to get me to like gold 5. So like I ranked up twice in 2 games. It was
Heck yeah,
kind of
man.
funny. Yeah. Did you want to look at some Illaoi or Silent stuff real quick? Like we got like 5 or 10 minutes. Like I could tell the other person I'll be like 5 minutes late or something, because they'll probably not be ready at 9 anyway. You know.
If you just run me through like your Illaoi setup and your base laning pattern, then like I would not.
Alright. I'm gonna invite you to this, and I want you to join my team. Oh, look at that! I got diamond with my 100th win. How good does that feel?
Pretty good, man.
So rune-wise, I take the same thing every game. Kleptomancy with magical footwear, biscuits, and cosmic insight. The reason I take footwear is because you want to rush cleaver, and you know you can usually have cleaver and then you finish your magical boots at the same time. So it's just like a massive power spike with all the free gold you're getting from like inspiration and klepto and all that. And Klepto give extra movement speed. Extra movement speed on anyone who is a Juggernaut class is just amazing. So basically everybody likes magical footwear. Biscuits are good because you also run Corrupting Potion. You really need the Corrupting Potion regen because you trade. You're an 80 caster, you trade with abilities. And you're Juggernaut, like you also need to get in the fray and trade with your health as well. Biscuits supplement all of that kind of gameplay. The other reason why these are especially good on Illaoi, Illaoi really loves these runes. They restore missing health and mana, and a lot of times Illaoi makes plays off of the fact that she's already low. So you're more frequently missing like more health and mana than some other champions.
Yeah.
Because of the missing health restoring your Q, right?
They should not protect you.
Definitely.
Kleptomancy, or not Kleptomancy, biscuits also give you maximum mana, which is enough to cast like a whole another rotation of your spells. And then Cosmic Insight for CDR, because CDR is good. Sudden Impact and Ravenous Hunter. Sudden Impact and Ravenous Hunter, I feel like you should always take.
Ravenous makes perfect sense, but
Sudden Impact is the lethality, so you get more lethality anytime you use your W.
Oh, it procs on her fucking W, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's horrendous.
Yep, she's super good.
Why does it count as a dash? Right?
Well, it is a dash. It's a leap. It's not a long range leap, but it is a leap. So yeah, you always start corrupting. There are games where I see rune pages where people start stopwatch instead of stopwatch instead of boots. I personally don't like that. I think stopwatch is cheesy, and they're just gonna nerf it next patch anyway. So just get used to using boots. Once you get to lane, you want to stand like right here. This is where you would want to plant your first tentacle.
Like, if you ever hear any of his voice lines, he's like, "Oh, I'm over here."
You might want to plant it just a little closer to the tower, but I like to get greedy and plant it here because I like to plant my next one right here. If I were to pull a soul right here, it would be in range of both of these.
Yeah.
And then I put my next one right here. If you're against like a Teemo or a Jace, you might want to consider putting these a little further back because they could just walk up and shoot them if they were smart, right? But quite frankly, I notice a lot of players do not even hit Illaoi tentacles, which is hilarious. But yeah, as you can see, like with 3 tentacles already, you see like this strong position you've built. This becomes like your retreat position if you're getting ganked, right? This is home base, basically. You want to try to reach this point and then land an E, because they don't really want to chase you past this, and if they do, God bless them.
Yeah, if you land an E and an R in that space, then you'll have 6 tentacles and just like utterly destroy them.
Yeah.
That's the idea?
Basically. Main idea with Illaoi, though, is that you always fight with your tentacles, right? You should never take a fight. Like, even if you're ahead, you could be 2 levels ahead and have an item advantage against, like, a Darius, and take a fight near your tentacle without a tentacle and lose. Like, I'm not even... Their tentacles are half of her kit, like, if not more.
Yeah.
The only other way you fight without them is if maybe you have, like, a Trinity Force build, and you kind of just abuse Trinity procs with your W, right? Like, that's kind of the only way around that. So, like, once you start fighting on the minion line here, you start Q, because Q lets you fight back with wave clear, you know. Generally, Illaoi should not be beaten to level 2. And you might end up pushed up a little bit, right? But you shouldn't end up more pushed than right here. Ideally, what happens is you're not afraid of pushing on Illaoi, because 1, you're going to be warding, and you're going to be respectful of the jungler. But 2, most of the time when you're pushing with Illaoi, you have a health lead and a minion lead. So if a gank does pop off, 1, you might be ahead in levels, like the enemy is not going to be the same level as you because you're pushing him in quicker. So even if you do get ganked, that guy is level 1 or 2, not 3, and he has to chase you through minions, and you already have a health advantage. So you've like stacked it against this guy just by pushing him in and poking him with like 1 or 2 spells, not even 2 or 3 minutes into the game, right?
Yeah, and then for you, you can come to like right here, and if you have an E, then you're probably just gonna fucking...
If you don't get ganked before like 310 or so, like you can get level 3 pretty reasonably, right? It's when you get ganked before that, and you're not really close enough to a tentacle, or you haven't poked the other guy enough, that you basically just get ganked and lose. If you push up and he shows up at like 240 when you're just dicking around right here, and you can't get level 3 yet, and he's level 2 and his wave's bouncing back, you basically die here, like, you know, 80% of the time.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is that
ward this
right after you push this first wave and get level 2, if it's not going to lose you minions, right? Like, push that second wave and, like, force him to react, send him back to his tower. As he's getting back to his tower, and it's, like, 220-ish or something, boom, drop that ward. Or put it, like, right here or something, you know? Like, you have to be ready for this. If they do come, whatever, you walk back. If they don't, you just build a level 3 lead. If they show up by the time you're level 3 and the other guy's level 2, that's when you can win. Because, like, maybe you have this other guy at half health already, right? Or, like, 2/3. Yeah. So he's hurt, and you have a minion advantage and a level advantage. So you start to hit that point we're talking about, where, like, you need these 3 things in your favor before you can think about the 1v2.
Okay.
Or your jungle's coming, right? And you only have to last, like, few extra seconds, and your jungle might come clean up, right? You can't make this play betting that your jungle will come. Like, you need to already see them on the way, or else you're just inting. These big things, like outplaying this jungle gank, the pushing that you do before it, and being ready for it, like, this is probably one of the biggest things I can teach you on Illaoi, because this is going to make or break most laning phases, whether or not you succumb to the early ganks and fall behind.
Okay.
Because on these bully wave clear champions, their lead is based on having, like, this overwhelming power lead. Not necessarily overwhelming, but you definitely can't fall behind. It's like an assassin in that regard.
But yeah, you can't, like, when Illaoi has these tentacles up and she has all of her abilities on
if like, you have that minion advantage, level advantage on that guy,
advantage and level advantage, and they try to come and fight
you're still not ready, though. You still have to land the E, right?
Well, that's why I said if you have your abilities up.
Exactly. If you miss the E after you have all this stuff planned out, you're still gonna get fucked.
Still, yeah.
Yeah. So you
The
kind
only
of
way
bet
to
on
go
them just running at you in a straight line.
if you're here or here and land a 2-man ulti, so you have 4 tentacles, and then you land like really, really good RNG with your Ws.
Yeah, a lot of times if you can just bait people in just a little bit, it makes a big difference. Like if you have a second tentacle, try to get there. You know, don't just fight him right here. Take that little extra walk and get over here. But the big thing is, you don't even have to fight the jungle right here, right? He might even just chase you, and you just walk back a little bit, and when you're walking back, you're creating distance from the top laner as well, right? So instead of this becoming a 1v2, it becomes more like a 1v1 with you and the jungler.
With the jungler.
And one, they might not have a good
Who
clear.
generally is behind in XP and lower on health than Illaoi.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden he runs in like, what the fuck? My top laner's retarded. I'm ganking you, or whatever, you know. And then you have, and then you have double buffs, and then you kill this guy. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have to engage them immediately unless you take it. And the more you retreat, the more they chase you in a straight line, right? I'm sure you see that all the time.
The more they chase you in a straight line, the more you have like these fucking
these super easy opportunities because they're just like, oh, kill the overextended.
They're not in the wave. They're not with their friend. They're just here.
They're tunnel visioning hard as shit.
Tentacles.
Yeah. And when this is happening, your jungler might be coming. Like, fuck, your minions might even be here backing you up, right? Like, people are gonna do some dumb shit trying to kill you just because they see overextended top laner must gank. Like, this shit is working even as I climb into diamond. Like, no shit, you know? It's gonna happen. And then first base prioritizations, items I would say would be Phage. I don't recommend going off build, like getting lethality early because it can come back to bite you. You can go lethality, but it's risky, right? Like, you need Black Cleaver and stuff like Raptor Cloak first. So if I had this amount of gold, 1350.
I love the item too, but like,
I know
it's how much you talk about.
I know
Raptor Cloak is really funny.
It sounds really funny, but it's just this really good item on most of the classes that I play. Right? It's a super good item on Juggernauts. It just is.
It's a great
Juggernauts
item.
who like being in a lane and split pushing and tower diving people. It's actually very critical to your playstyle. I would have less win rate without this item. No bullshit. I'm in love with it for a reason. But if I have this much money, you know, I get the Phage. Because Phage is bully presence and power in lane. But if it was double AD, I would even consider going like Raptor Cloak, Longsword, or Raptor Cloak, Health Crystal, and then
By
Pink
double
Horse.
AD, do you mean top and mid or top and jungle?
Fuck that. I can't handle that small object.
But yeah.
Man.
Now at this point, like when you come back to lane, you're always looking for like that HP advantage, and you're always looking for the free ease. If some of them get destroyed, a good tentacle position might be like right here. You don't want it to come out much past the wall because it becomes like a lot more vulnerable to the jungler. Or if they just are in lane, you want to make them like have to walk past this corner wall just a little bit. It gives you a little more safety rather than like, oh, I need to hang out here to get helped by it. But if you follow me real quick, we're gonna look at a couple like really sneaky tentacle placements that can get you some good kills. This one right here. Hopefully it's not too close to this other one that's up in the lane a little bit.
I mean, you can go on.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Once you have this one. Do you know about like the visual kind of trick that happens near the river ramps?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. You see how like if you look at the map terrain, this is supposed to be higher elevation terrain, right?
Yeah.
But really it's like more of a flat map. Like if I were to throw my Q through here, it looks like it's landing like right here, max. But what's happening is like this map is like skewed visually. Not just from the way we're looking at it and from the way it's supposed to scale, but isn't. So when it looks like it's landing right where you're standing, this Q is actually landing like a little further, like there. Yeah.
Okay.
The reason why that's extra tricky is that like that's also this tentacle, right? This tentacle looks like it's landing right here. It's actually landing like that little extra bit further.
That's actually pretty bad, like as far as the game's health goes, but that's cool to know.
There's a lot of skill shot interactions that happen like over ramps over here. That's like it's low percentage and it can be compensated for, but if you don't know about it and like why did that hit me, that happens a lot around the
Yeah, that's
river
definitely
ramps.
happened. Like
Skill
a
shots
couple
that
of
get thrown
times
from the river
thousands
into
and
the
thousands
jungle
of games.
or out of the jungle into the river. But like if I were to land a spirit right here, this is in range of all three, right? Or if I'm camping this bush,
This one, and
that
this
one's a
one.
little further away. But like if I'm right here, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm pushed up under the tower and the jungle comes to gank me and I get stopped right here. Please fight me right here in this choke.
Yeah, please find me right here and let me land an E and press R and take
Just
you to fucking
pound
Dunktown
town.
with 6 tentacles.
Exactly. A lot of it is like you're getting ganked. How prepared are you to land that E and everything, right? Like, do you have enough mana to land like 2 Qs and press W 5 times? It's with Illaoi, it's all about the preparedness for like the 1v2. And if it's not the 1v2, then you're just trying to poke this guy and be as annoying as fucking possible. Land as many E's, land as many Qs as possible. But every time you miss an E, if you miss an E and you don't know where the jungle is, you need to be backing off, right? Because you're actually very vulnerable. If your ult's down and you don't have flash and you don't have E, like you might not even be able to lane. That guy might be able to beat you. So you're really based around like tentacles, your E cooldown, and your ultimate.
Okay.
But once you have like more than 2 tentacles, or God forbid, 3+, you are OP as hell.
Yeah, right here you get like 3 as well with this one.
Yeah. You spawn an E, you start chasing, and like that's the thing, they go for tower, right? These guys try to run towards tower where it's safe. You already have one sitting right here, you already have this one over here. They start spawning vessel tentacles over here.
Like, before he took a break from the game, I distinctly recall there was a time where there was a tentacle like right here, like on the tower, and then like right like here we were playing red side, and the top laner Tifu's in here, and then like walks to like right here because there's like a big ass wave, and he just had a wave coming in right here as well. He stepped out from behind the wave for about 2 seconds, and then just like ER and dead, like that quick. Just
once you get like, let's say you just dove them with vessels, right? Like they were level 5, you were level 6. This is the second time you kill them, and they do something dumb like teleport back. If you just killed them and they were vesseled, there's gonna be tentacles all over the place. You just wait for the teleport to come in and just like kill them again.
Yeah.
Like people will do that shit. But I'm gonna check on this Discord message that I have because I think it's my 9 o'clock messaging me.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll definitely look forward to seeing you play an Illaoi game. I think the main thing is definitely like outplaying that level 2 and having those like layers of protection. Like, can I do this? I need to land my E. Do I have more minions? Do I have more health? Do I have more levels? Do I have more tentacles? Like, so you just kind of like check down the list.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely you want to work around the 2:30 to like 4:20 minute intervals where people are gonna have red buff trying to gank you, right? You need to kind of secure your health position in lane and hold on to like 1 or 2 corrupting potion charges by 4:20 rolls around. Because you don't want to blow your wad by the time the jungler's done with red buff. Like, you need to still be bullying the laner even after the jungle tries to kill you. You have to preserve your bully presence. You can't just give it up like after you have a bad fight or something.
So overall presence-wise in the games, right? Like Illaoi is just trying to constantly 1v2. Cyan is trying to create pressure between his like banner and his ultimate, and his like oppressive
ability to get around the map and just gank bot lane. Gank bot with your 6 or something. You know what I mean with Scion. Like,
and then like people like Nunu and Shyvana, I just need to be super mindful of my builds and only taking like 1 objective as opposed to 2 because that seems to be like the recurring bad thing that I'm doing.
It's greedy.
And then if I'm playing like Rengar, then I need to just be creating kill pressure and playing as an opportunist, not like pathing like, okay, I'm gonna take this, then this, then this, then gank here. I need to just be like, all right, I'm farming.
If your plan is to like gank, farm this, and then go somewhere, you may have lost your kill potential. As a jungle assassin, like you might realize if you were looking mid, that mid was really the gank that you should have went for, right?
Yeah.
So jungle assassins is definitely more important to like in between camps. Make sure you're watching the map. Be
Okay.
more aware of who does and doesn't have flash.
I'll make sure to leave you your good reviews. You've been like super helpful.
I appreciate it.
I'll keep you
I've
on
actually
my
redone
friends
my
list so
profile.
far as you don't mind.
Yeah, it's fine. I've redone my profile and filled out some more of my schedule, and I think by the end of tonight I'm gonna reinstate my like standard lesson charge. But I've already put like some more stuff up there, so
Just
I'm making
out
the
of
transition.
curiosity, how much is that?
I'll be doing $13 for a lesson, but also doing buy 3 lessons and you get one. So $40 get more or less gets you like 4+
Free,
hours
yeah.
of my time. Yeah.
Okay. And then like outside of the like coach student scenario, do you want to like play norms or anything, or like if I get fucking high enough into plat, like catch
Yeah,
you
we could
around
do that
and
from time to
do
time.
whatever?
I actually had the plan of making a Smurf here coming up because I've never really made one, and I probably should have one at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
Just for common sense sake, yeah. But I'm gonna go head to the restroom and just like grab a drink, chill out. But I need to get to this next guy who's waiting very patiently.
Yeah, definitely. I get that. Thanks you.
No problem.
Thanks you. Haha.
See ya.
Peace out.